Alright guys, today I'm going to give you a 2,000 mile review on my 17 Yxz, it's 1000R 5-speed. If you're a subscriber, you've already seen videos on this thing. And I did a 1,000 mile review. So today I'm going to do a 2,000, it's actually got 2,100 miles on it. If you watch some of my other videos, this is it's in the sand, it's in the mud, a lot of clay mud. Did some snow riding with it last year, not this year so far. So I decided to do a 2,000 mile review because I mean my RZR didn't make it to 2,000 miles before it left me stranded up north, and that's basically why I bought one of these. And I have a few friends with these things. Some got 3,000, 4,000 miles, not kilometers, I'm talking miles. My brother's got one of these things. I'm pretty sure he's right around the same as me. We're not easy on him at all. And so I'll just go over this thing here. I'll switch the camera around and we'll go over it because I've had no problems with it, and I'll tell you what I've done to it and just give you a good video of what it looks like after 2,100 miles. The other thing I will say is I do my maintenance. I'm high on the maintenance. I use Yxz oil, fully synthetic. I usually change all the fluids around the motor. In training I do every 600 miles, and I'll do the diffs usually around 800 to 1,000 miles. I know it's recommended you can go longer than that, but I don't. So I've done a few oil changes on this, and I mean even when I do the tranny, you pull that little filter out, and I mean there's nothing on the filter. The oil, I really probably didn't need to change it, but I do it anyways. 'Cause I mean if you're high on the oil changes, that probably helps these things run longer. I keep everything greased up, but pretty much almost every ride I grease it. That's easy to grease, so it's no big deal. So yeah, here I'll give you a quick look at the machine after 2,100 miles and tell you a little about it and how I've had no issues with it. So as you can see, I keep it clean too. I use a foam cannon. This is just power wash. There's no hand washing. I use super clean degreaser soap. Now as you can see, if you haven't seen my other videos, now I had one little issue with this pipe. I tried running a quiet. This is just heat tape I put under the light here. I got to redo that. I had to rethread all the screws in this Trinity exhaust. They're just cheap. It's just the aluminum come out. It's the only issue I have. It's nothing to do with the Yamaha. So the Trinity pipe, it works good. It's a little loud. So I tried putting the quiet core insert in it, and it ended up messing up it just didn't work out. Melted the taillight, and I had to put a new taillight on. And if you're wondering, a taillight out of a Yamaha snowmobile, that came out of the Nitro. Bolts right on to everything, the clip, wire clip, everything's the exact same, so that worked out pretty good. My brother had one off a part sled. So other than that, I had no issues, but that's nothing to do with the Yamaha. That's that aftermarket pipe. The end cap come loose, and it ended up melting the taillight. But anyways, these are factory tires too, so I do a lot of road running around here. And I mean they're worn down, but these things are holding up really good. Like when I replace those, I'm putting the same tire on it. So as you can see, it's still pretty clean. I like the Yamaha, everything's open. It's a real easy machine to power wash. A little bit of a pain in the ass to pull the skid plates off after a muddy ride, but everything cleans up really nice on these machines. And plastics hold up. I mean, they've rubbed a pile of trees. I've had a couple. I think this front one here broke a little clip on it. I mean, that's no big deal. Like I said, I got the windshield. I mean, all I got done to it is the Albatoon, that Trinity exhaust, and I put the Alba airbox spacer in it, which does wake it up, makes a difference. I mean, I like how there's no speed limit. This thing will run well into the 80 mile per hour, almost 90. I've never held it that long, but it will. I can cross fields over 80 mile an hour, so that's pretty good. So yeah, I've had to do nothing to this in 2,100 miles. Obviously no belt changing, which, let's face it, if you're a belt burner, you've changed a bunch of belts by 2,100 miles. And if you haven't, you're just babying your machine. Now, Interior wise, everything's holding up good. Everything's nice. I had to adjust these doors once. I mean, they're a little loose. They're easy to adjust. And man, I've had zero issues with this thing. So I don't know. I adjusted the suspension a little bit for the Michigan trails because they're a little whooped out. And other than that, never really touched suspension after that. I think it rides. It actually handles the little chatter bumps better than the RZRs do with the S models or the high-end suspension ones. I think it does anyways. I rode both, and I thought this thing handled the chatter bumps way better. I mean, obviously the big moguls, your RZR, your Can-Am is going to ride a lot pluser through the big moguls. But yeah, guys, I don't know. I'm keeping this machine for a little bit longer. I mean, I would like to get a new one. I'd like the 19. Eventually, I'm going to get a 19 with the Yamaha turbo on it. But for now, I have absolutely no issues with this machine. And the clutch, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, they burn clutch. Yeah, you're going to burn a clutch out. If you put huge tires on it and you don't know how to use a clutch, you're probably going to burn a clutch out. It's just like a car, motorcycle, a dirt bike. If you don't know how to use a clutch, it doesn't take much to burn it out. But I'm hard on this thing. And I dump the clutch on this thing all the time. If I ride this thing, the clutch is getting dumped pretty much every time I take off. And I mean, hold it wide open and dump the clutch. Pavement, sand, dirt, mud, it don't matter. I dump the clutch like hundreds of times on this thing and drag race to the pile of times, and I have no issues with the clutch whatsoever. So that's it, guys. 2,100 miles. If you want reliability, I would say this is the machine to go. From what I hear, the Hondas are really good, but I mean, you don't have the 5-speed. But if you don't want a 5-speed, probably look towards a Honda or the SS version of this. I've been in the Honda, and it's a pretty cool machine. I'm not a Yamaha. Whatever. I'll ride whatever. Like my snowmobile's Polaris. Street bike is a Yamaha one. But I just wanted something reliable, and this machine here has been nothing but reliable. So if you're watching this video and you're really thinking of pulling the trigger on one of these because you're tired of your belt burner, I highly recommend one of these things. I mean, it is an aggressive machine. It's definitely not as smooth of a ride as your RZR Can-Am is, but man, you don't have to worry about the clutches blowing apart. You don't have to worry about changing belts. It's just, I don't know. I just like it for life. I like the 5-speed fact of it too. I mean, this thing, in my eyes, this feels like if you're in an RZR or Can-Am, I feel like you're in a glorified golf cart because it's just hit the throttle, go. That's it. But this thing here, every time I ride it, it just puts a smile on your face. It just feels like you're in a buggy. Not a, you know, I don't know, something about it. It's got to be the 5-speed, I'm sure. So yeah, guys, I've had no issues, and I'm telling you, 2,100 miles stock tires, nothing. And this thing still feels like the day I bought it. I got this thing with, I think it had 200 or 180 miles on it. So I bought it used. Basically brand new, right? It wasn't even broke in yet. And I haven't had to put one part on this thing. It's okay, sorry, I did brakes, but that's just, I mean, that's a wear and tear item. So I did brakes on it, and that's it. And other than that, everything still feels tight. Like, this thing still feels like the day I bought it. It does not feel like it has 2,100 miles on it. And I'm hard on it. So like, check out my other videos and you'll see that. So yeah, there it is. Like, close, that's, you know, 2,100 miles of hard use. I keep it clean. So when I go to sell it, you know, it's still going to have a good resale value. And like I said, I use super clean degreaser. I guess dish soap works pretty good when you use a foam cannon. I don't know. I might start trying that. So yeah, there you go. That's my review video on it. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're just watching this, I got lots of other videos coming up. Our weather's finally supposed to change here and get cold in another week. So maybe we'll get some snow. And I'll get this thing out in the snow, plus get some snowmobiling videos down. So don't forget to subscribe, guys, and thanks for watching.